I am a feisty and fiery and activated spirit, as all who have heard me and who know me can easily see. So, what I would like to do is to share that light, bright and sparkly, effervescent and bubbly, joyful and abundant as it is.
Hello, Stephanie. A warm welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to wherever we meander today.
Yes, I look forward to it too. And I know that you are an intuitive channeler and you are an author. And I've watched a couple of videos with you, and I heard that you mentioned that you channel trees, for instance, and Mother Earth. And that got me very curious because I've always felt that trees have a message for us. And maybe we'll do some channeling today because you said that you could channel other people's higher selves and souls that are actually on this planet right now. So we'll see where this conversation will go. Uh, However, I'm curious how you got into the channeling in general. There are a lot of people who have started to channel, and many people are on shows like this. And sharing their deep messages. And I think we really need channelers who are sharing messages of the time we're living in. But how did you get into all of this?
Yeah, thank you for asking. First, I will say I believe we are all channels. So the way that I do this is perhaps unique to me and my delight with language because by background I'm a speech pathologist and so I really love language. But we're all channeling and we're doing it in our own ways and there's different forms of it. So this is just my flavor of it. It came about out of a necessity for me to find ways to stay connected to my mother who had dementia. She had a type of dementia that actually started in her 50s, and she had a 15-year journey through it. And for anybody that's ever loved somebody who has dementia or Alzheimer's, we know that those pathways in the brain start to break apart, and that person's ability to communicate clearly and understand language and respond in their natural personality changes, and it changes constantly. So I was finding that my relationship with my mom was enormously challenging. We were arguing about stupid things. We weren't making any sense in our conversations. And I was losing my grounding with regards to how do I support her? What does she need from me? What is this phase of her life and her journey supposed to be about? And what's my role within it? So lucky for me, I had a best friend at the time who was a very gifted channel. And I say was because she's on the other side now and supports me in my channeling work. But I begged her, will you please channel my mom for me? I don't even know how to communicate with her anymore. Even with all of my clinical background, I was still having a hard time staying connected to her. So she did. She channeled my mom multiple times, and I learned what her soul needs. I learned about her soul's journey and how dementia was actually, in some ways, allowing her to experience the fullness of her journey here, and also how I could get out of the way, get out of her way, so she could experience what she was here to experience. And I could stay in a lovely and loving contact and support with her, but not take control over those things I was trying to control that I really had no control over. And it enhanced my relationship with her so much. And it created such a deeper bond and greater meaning that I'm now connected with her as she's on the other side. And it changed my whole life. So I figured if this can change my relationship with my mother, then I need to learn how to channel so that I can use it in all of my relationships and also teach others how to do so as well.
That's fascinating how you just decided I'm going to learn how to channel.
Mhm.
Because to me, for instance, years ago, I would think that that was a gift that some people had and I couldn't just learn it. But you're saying we all can channel?
I fully, fully believe that. Yes. I think that the gift part of it comes in the manner in which we channel. So, my channeling gift is that there's very fluid language, words, imagery, connections that I'm able to make that come through the language that I'm channeling and the connections that I'm making on the other side, or to this on the soul level on this side. But someone else's channeling gift might be through their dance. It might be through their writing. It might be through their art. And this is all channeling. Channeling is just connecting to divine energy, and we are divine energy. So that's why I believe, yep, we are definitely all channels. And if you have good teachers, I feel like you can pretty much learn anything. And I've had great teachers.
That does make sense. And channelers are channeling different energies. Like it seems like you are channeling what's going on Earth right now, not so much extraterrestrials or angels. Is that a choice or something that just was sort of your gift?
Great question. Maybe on some level it is a choice because it's where I am most intrigued and fascinated by our soul agreements and our soul relationships here in the now, in the physical three-dimensional experience and how it extends to the fifth dimension. But I do channel from other perspectives too. I have had clients who are very deep in their spiritual journeys, and they will have me channel extraterrestrial beings that they feel connected to, or they will have me channel from a particular angelic realm that they feel connected to. I don't have to know what it is in order to be able to bring the message forward. But yeah, if you ask me what do I love to channel, I love to channel animals, I love to channel trees, and I love to channel the human souls that are here right now.
Like, how do you know or feel that it's not you and your ego or fantasy that's talking?
Well, this comes with the thousands of hours of practice, really. So, through the commitment to channeling and to maintaining myself as a clear channel, which I believe is probably more than 80% of it, is the maintenance part of it, so that my frequency is as high as it can be. So, I'm able to interact on those levels and at that frequency with other souls and beings. That's a huge chunk of it. And then in the beginning, I feel like everybody questions, am I just making this up? Is this coming, just from wishful thinking? This is what most of us do, no matter what the skill is that we are trying to hone. So if you assume you're going to question that, and you still dedicate yourself to the work and practice of it, you can go beyond that.
Was it like a time where you did question it in the beginning, where you got a solid sort of proof that, hey, this is real? Because I remember in my spiritual journey, I needed the proof for myself.
Mhm.
So I took this course, this astral travel and dream course. And long story short, I managed to astral project out of my body. And that was like the proof that I needed. So I understood that, okay, what I'm reading in books, spiritual books, is actually true. I'm not making it up or I'm not just believing. Did you have that moment where you're like, this is absolutely happening?
Yeah, that I have that moment every single time I channel for someone. They affirm it on some level, whether it's something specific that was said, a particular word that was used that their loved one constantly used, whether it's a feeling or an essence of what is coming through, and they are connecting very deeply to that being. Maybe it's something earthly, like a color or whatever. But the affirmation comes constantly. However, even with that, I still sometimes question. This is just the human condition, right? I'm not a robot channeling. I am having the full human experience, and we
Yeah.
do, we're taught to doubt ourselves.
I know, and it's so important to speak about because I feel like some years ago, some people would put like spiritual teachers and channelers and especially gurus on pedestals, that you were supposed to fully 100% walk the talk. And then I interviewed Neil Donald Walsh, and he said that you teach what you need to learn yourself. And I just love that because then I relaxed and I didn't had to pretend that I knew all this stuff and I was this spiritual person. I could just be myself because I think subconsciously I was afraid of being judged. Like, since you're doing all these interviews, Jannecke, you should know better. You shouldn't do that, or you should not you should not drink wine, or whatever it is. And yeah, that we're human, and we have these skills and we believe in these things and we're doing our best. We're humans. I think that's so important.
It is, and I agree with you. We teach what we most need to learn because I teach the core of what I teach when I teach channeling is self-trust.
Ah, beautiful. Um, I get asked this sometimes, like, what is your like in best or most significant ahas from your interviews? And it's a hard question to answer, but still, I'll throw it over to you. Like, what is the biggest insight you have received through channeling about the nature of reality?
Hmm. Yeah, that is a dense question. I would say, because there's so much to it, right? I would say what I continue to learn is that our our interconnectedness is it goes beyond what is our family, even beyond what is our soul family, and extends to everybody for all time. And so there's no such thing as really doing something just for me. Everything that I do in service to my own growth, to my own self-love, to my own self-compassion is contributing and blanketing the planet in love and compassion and care. And this comes through again and again and again. And it's definitely time for me and all of us probably to get that message very clearly because we also have the opposite teaching from culture that says what we do for ourselves is selfish
Mm.
and that somehow flies in the face of what is in service to others, but actually self-love and self-care and self-acceptance and all the things that we do to nurture and nourish ourselves is in service to all of humanity and all of life. So that's profound, and I try to keep anchoring back into that.
Yeah, that's really important. And it just gives us more inspiration and enthusiasm around like diving into this because it's not selfish. It's all about that you are me and I'm you, like from a higher perspective. And the more we develop and expand, the more we will help the world expand their consciousness as well. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense to me. So,
Yes.
uh, yeah, I'm curious if you could channel my higher self. You said in the beginning that you could do it. And I was like, is that right to do? Should I channel? Should I take this space up in this interview and like ask personal questions? But then I was thinking maybe it can help people who are listening. And maybe there are some really profound messages that needs to come through. So I'm open to it. Like this is a possibility. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, absolutely. So keep in mind, nothing is going to come through that is putting you at any risk. There's no vulnerability or anything that you need to be concerned about because that's an agreement that I already have with my channeling guides who support me in accessing messages that you are protected. All those who I channel for are protected. There's nothing that's going to be causing any issues or strife for you as a result. What I will encourage you to do is tap into your heart for a moment
Mm.
and see what you would like to ask of your higher self. Because instead of just going more global with whatever message is here, you will get more if you have some direction or some question. Like I said, doesn't have to be supremely personal, but just something that you are asking towards that will anchor into, and I'll channel from that question.
Right. The name Wisdom from North really came to me on a jogging tour on the day that I got the idea to start doing interviews. And I started in 2012. And sometimes I feel like Wisdom from North is its own entity. And I'm curious why this name came to me, while at the same time, I'm doing a lot of English interviews with Americans. So a part of me is a bit confused that I have this Scandinavian audience and I love doing these English interviews on my English YouTube channel. And yet the name is Wisdom from North. I would love some more clarification on that.
Okay, perfect. So, Jannecke, are you also willing to go to your guides for this instead? Because you have actually an entire group of guides that are your Wisdom from North guides. So, I'm going to recommend we go there. Are you game?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. We knew you would say yes. We are thrilled and delighted that you have said yes. We are thrilled and delighted with this entire meeting, in fact, and you don't even have any understanding of what is unfolding or where this can go. This is the joy of it, dearest one. So here we are, yes, and we are en masse. We are surrounding you. We are a collective in and of ourselves, which is why we are able to drop in particular words and even phrases, and yes, even pictures and imagery and understanding that come from, oh, you say, I don't know where it comes from. It's just here. It's just dropped in. It's just what I am present to right now. And isn't that the beauty and joy of all of it? So here is your list. Yes, of course. Did you think we were not going to come forward with a list, knowing how much you enjoy working through a good, clean, linear list and making your way through? Here is your list. And here's some additional information that will be quite intriguing to you. Number one, the background, of course, regarding the choosing of this particular name has far more to do with you than it does with us. We have simply agreed to wear this label, if you will, so that you know who to call forward when you are bringing in your own connections, messages, and insights. See, you have agreed prior to taking birth in this lifetime, dear one, to engage with us so that we could follow you, run ahead of you, in fact, and bring back the treasures, the wisdom, the understanding, the insights that will be of greatest use for the moment. And this is what your greatest focus is. You have asked prior to taking birth in this lifetime, can you please just bring in what is most relevant for the moment? And we winked at you, nodded our heads, and said, yes, absolutely, of course, because each moment changes, doesn't it? And then the wisdom is no longer relevant. And you find yourself in a time and a space and a reality right now where everything is changing faster than the blink of an eye. And so you are wanting to be able to touch down and tap into what is for the moment. And so here we are supporting you in that. So that is what you will be getting as you channel with us, through us, and even occasionally on behalf of us, because you will be bringing forward a blend of the messaging that we are here to show you and guide you with, and then eventually carrying this all on your own. This is nothing to be concerned about. You are already prepared for it. That is number one. Number two, you can, of course, do more research on these words in isolation, and these words in the string of connection, the phrase that you have that you are present to. And if you do a bit more research, you will find that there are multiple translations and uses of these particular words that you are using as the anchor point for what you have to bring forward. And so we encourage you to do this because you are one, of course, who loves to do your research and who loves to report back on your findings. Number three, your audience, and no, we are not speaking of simply and only those who are listening or playing back at another point in time. Your audience is truly all of both humanity and those who have at one point in time embodied as humanity, and now you know them to be on the other side. You have a keen interest in the human condition, in the human experience, in the human transformation. You are one who has had countless lifetimes in the direct processing of transformations. You have actually had the experience of transforming yourself from one physical state into another. And in fact, you have memory of that in this particular lifetime at this very moment in time. This is exciting, isn't it? This is thrilling, isn't it? This is something that you would like to share more frequently and easily, isn't it? So we encourage you to do so. Number 5, I think. Here's what happens sometimes when the expectations of the external world, humanity in particular, start to settle around your energy field. They start to stack up. There can be like a dust or a film that forms. We are only mentioning this for the purpose of your energetic hygiene, which is fantastic. So there is not a problem here, but we are just calling your attention to the film of dust dust. Go ahead, clean it, clear it, or better yet, assign the task to those who are responsible for sourcing you in this way. What we recommend for you in terms of the physical experience is for you to shake, 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 shake. You know how those lovely mammals, dogs, wolves, coyotes, and the like, after a good swim, they take their entire bodies and they shake, and water sprays everywhere. We would like to see if you are able to affect the same with your physicality. Do not hurt yourself and do not create any spinal injuries, please. But remember what it is like to truly, truly shake the physicality so that all the energy that has settled around that is not yours, that is not intended for you, that never had anything to do with you, it has just found a place to settle, can be released. That is what will be most useful, most supportive, most helpful, and also a lot of fun. Number 6, going forward, and of course, that is the only option that we have as our commitment to you. Going forward, we are prepared to guide you through your writing into specifics. There are particular arenas that you have the greatest interest in focusing on. This has nothing to do with our desire for you. This is your desire for a greater world. You are here as one in service to the greater world. And so we ask for you to sit in quietude with your pen, with your paper, and with something medicinal to sip, and then allow for us to stream through you, directly through you, with purity and with clarification ideas. Be in free flow, be in free form. Do not play the editor. We are happy to do this at preordained times. The most holy and sacred times for you in particular are for us to meet at 4:44, or 12, 12. You can choose your AM or your PM. You can choose any day that you wish to. Just make it known to us when the meeting will take place, and we will be there. Don't forget your pen, your paper, and your medicinal drink. We have much more that we can offer to you, but we will save that for your direct transmissions that will occur through your writing. You are a profoundly gifted orator, as well as bringing in much skill and experience in authorship. We are absolutely thrilled and delighted to be on this team with you forevermore.
Wow. Thank you for that. Interesting. That was a lot. All right. Can I continue asking
Yes, go ahead.
questions?
Mhm.
Wonderful. Many of my viewers know my story with losing my voice, being a musical theater artist, and I would love to understand more about me having nodules on my voice and actually losing it, and sort of if you can say anything about me leaving my musical theater career, which I'm okay with in a way, because I'm feeling that I'm doing a deeper purpose, but there's still a part of me that misses the musical theater world.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to your higher self for this one.
Mm.
Of course I miss it. Of course I do. It is a part of me. It is a piece of me. I am using present tense because that will never change. This is my own form, of course, of channeling, if I may use the word again and again, just to hit home the very specifics of it. What I have been able to do upon the stages has been to touch others in a very, very deep and significant, and I dare say profound way. And I have utilized what I presumed to be the easiest tool, the most obvious tool that I own, that I have, which of course is my voice. And so just as if I had lost a limb and had to find my way back to using proper movement of my body, having to redistribute energy. This is exactly what I have had to do. This is what I am constantly tasked with, even though anyone who speaks with me who does not know the backstory would never ever be able to determine or tell that there is anything different. I know this, and it is part of what I have agreed to do again and again and again in this lifetime. It is part of the transformation. I heard about it moments ago. I am here to lead by example what it is to reinvent oneself, to recreate oneself, to reveal oneself, and to use a variety of modalities to do it. So, what I am saying ultimately is that the voice is but one modality. I love it. Indeed, I do. Mine is glorious. It is exquisite. I have chosen it explicitly for this lifetime to share and to journey, to transform and to bless and to heal. And it still functions in all of the ways that it is necessary to function. And I will not say goodbye to my great love of musicality, of musical theater, of sharing and energy and energizing others through the power of my voice. For look at me now, of course, I am still doing this. I can bring the healing, and there is a different modality in which I can use my voice to bring healing and blessing to others that has not yet been explored. Now I'm curious. Now my eyebrows are raised. Now I am leaning in. What is it? What is it? I say, oh, that is to come. That is part of the discovery process. Oh, how I do love the discovery process.
Nice.
So, what I saw with that is, as a soul, like there's this image where we're looking and saying, okay, I'll go in there. That's an interesting looking lifetime. There's a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities. Oh, look, I can bring my beautiful voice. It can bring healing, things that you wouldn't necessarily know about because we mostly think of the entertainment value, but that is not
Mm.
all that you were doing with your voice. There were people listening to you whose cells were vibrating, listening to you. I have the chills as I'm talking about it, whose skin was showing chill bumps, listening to you, who were being blessed, as your higher self said, simply by you offering this gift. It wasn't about the notes you hit, it wasn't about the words you were saying. So it's just one of many modalities. And if we go back to what your um, wisdom from north guidance pool was talking about, spirit guides were talking about, you have another modality right here already which they're guiding you back into, which is your authorship, your writing, your transmissions through that. So you made like a concerned face. Do you think that's not true? Do you not connect with that?
I connect with a wish to do it. However, when I sit down, like my restless self is
Uh-huh.
just, yeah, my ego is like, no, this not is not working,
Yeah.
and then I'll start working with wisdom from north in other ways. Like
Uh-huh.
we have so many tasks to do, and that leads me over to the other question. Like we're two in the company, and I feel sometimes feel like we're working so much with all these small things. We need to do this and need to do that, and then I'm not sure if we're working in the right way. If I'm skipping something, if we should work more or less or surrender more. Like it seems like there's so many things to do, and there's so many things I want to create and do, and I would love to make more interviews. We just don't have enough time because we're making online courses, membership, podcast interviews, and writing. Like, where would I get the time to do that?
Okay, let's ask them. Let's
Okay.
go back to those guides, the wisdom from north, spirit guides, and see what they want, how they want to address your idea of the scarcity of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ah, very well said, dearest channel. It's an idea, isn't it? For the humans, haven't they created time, a way to measure it, a way to clock it, a way to document it, a way to squander it, a way to use it wisely? And so we ask you, dear one, how is it that you would like to be in relationship to your time? Because as far as we are concerned, something ain't working here. Pardon us for being just very blunt about it, but you have plenty, plenty of it. It is all you have, in fact, for time cannot be predicted futuristically, and it also cannot be accessed retroactively. You have now. And so we ask you only to channel in your way the moment and the purpose of the journey and the focus of now. This is not something for you to feel as though you have to chart out the rest of your year. Oopsies, you've already done that, haven't you? It is also not something where you have to account to anybody else. Oopsies, you often find yourself doing that as well. Nor is it something that you need to be adversarial with. For time is of your creation. You have agreed to its expansion and stretching. You have agreed to its constricting and contracting. So, how will you agree to be in right relationship with it, to not just accomplish all of the many things and ideas and musings that you have, but to allow for it to be in service to you? So, here is what we would say. First, we heard you ponder whether or not surrender is really in the highest service. Now, that is a very excellent question, and we will say sometimes it is and sometimes it is not. It depends how you are defining the word surrender. And guess what? Your definition of it changes from moment to moment. It changes depending on how committed you are or how attached you are to a particular outcome. So, first, define the word surrender for that particular moment, and then decide if that is something of an energy that you would like to embody. If the answer is yes, and you will get your answer instantaneously as soon as you are asking a question, because that is the type of efficient soul that you are, then you will choose. You will choose either to surrender and allow for us. Thank you very much for remembering that we are here to take care of all the many little piddly and menial details to make things hook up, link up, and connect in better ways that you could affect through your hard work and effort. And if you feel as though you are meant to effort around this, by all means, we are happy to go on a mini vacation. We are happy to stand simply in observation of you. We find you to be a fascinating being. Indeed, we do. And we are, of course, always in service to you. Secondly, what we would remind you of is that who says that everything you think of and you create excitement within yourself and others around is meant to be pursued to its completion? Who says that? We would like to speak to the individual or the version of the individual that says such a thing. That is simply not true. In fact, all of the many things that you have been in the early stages of designing or redesigning or creating or recreating, these are things that very much wish to be put on a shelf for a while, sometimes for a long while, so that something that feels like a bigger wave of energy can come moving through. If you are hyper focused or distracted or fully ensconced in some particular completion, and you are finding that it is eating up all of your quote extra time or all of your most beneficial time, then that is because it is a time eater. There are things that do consume time, and there are things that are in service to allow to consume your time, and there are things that are not. And you will know this based on how it feels on the internal. When you feel as though you are dragging a heavy weight behind you or pushing one in front of you, this is, of course, designed to show you that it is not in service. You can put these things on a shelf, come back to them later or never, and they will all be perfectly suited to be picked up by another energetic being similar to you, or even another version of yourself, or even another parallel universe type of unfolding. However it is, allow it to be. This is not something that you are meant to figure out. Please, please stop figuring it out.
Hmm. All right. Well, there's
Oh,
so much information here. Ah, did you have any comments?
it's just, I listen to the messages as they're coming because they're for everybody, right? I'm channeling for you, but this is also for me, and it's for everybody else who's listening. And it reminds me of the moments that I am also in so much efforting, pushing the boulder up the mountain or dragging the weight behind me as I go. And everything does sometimes feel important, equally important, all at once. And it's not.
Mm.
And then we have these helpers, we have this entire invisible realm that we could literally use to carry out the big parts of our dreams, the parts that we are not meant to make every connection around. I early on in my channeling, before I went to bed, I would say to my guides, when I was still working to build my business and my practice, please, while I sleep, will you go out in search of the right aligned clients so that I may be in service to those who will resonate with my work and I may make the difference on the planet that I am here to make. And I would wake up many mornings and there would be clients booked that I never had contact with and interaction with. They weren't even sent by someone that necessarily that I knew. And so it's this affirmation that we can lean into this level of support. You have so many who are surrounding you, and all of these great ideas that are in flow, that's you being in flow. That's never going to stop. It doesn't mean every last one has to be completed. I love when they said that. That makes me feel much more relaxed.
Like, did they mean every project? Is that?
Correct.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. When it comes to manifestation, like, for instance, let's take this YouTube channel. Uh, I love doing interviews, and I obviously interview people I'm excited about interviewing. And some reach out very well, and
Mhm,
sometimes I gotta admit I get a little bit sad if I see an interview is not having good numbers
mhm,
and many views, and I was like, there's so much wisdom in that, and I never understand why some videos are going really well and others are not, and it
mhm,
seems like it's out of my control. And then I'm thinking, should I manifest it? But I don't have that approach. Like, it doesn't feel like it's something I want to manifest. Like, I want this YouTube channel to become so big. Like, I'm more in of a surrendering mode. Like, I just put it out there. But it feels like some of the interviews I feel should have more views because the guest was so great and the message was so profound.
mhm,
And I've interviewed and talked to many other YouTubers as well. It was like, we just hope for the best with each video.
mhm.
And it seems like it's this own YouTube entity that is doing that.
Shall we channel the guides of YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
let me listen for a moment and see who wants to speak to those because it's really a brilliant place to focus.
And if I have a follow up, could have a
Mhm,
follow up because I started YouTube in 2012 and then I stopped 3 years ago because everything just plateaued. Like,
mhm,
my views just went down, and I felt that this is not so fun anymore. Like, I feel like my videos are not reaching out, and then I pulled away.
mhm,
And then in March this year, I just felt I miss it so much. Like, it came over me. And I said to myself, I'm going to have a comeback. And I've been doing 2 videos now a week for 7 months. And I've never regretted it. Like, I love it. So something happened there that was out of my control. Like, it was
mhm,
like YouTube or something was pulling me back for some
mhm.
reason.
And do you feel is your energy around it right now where there is satisfaction with the reach, or are you feeling like you're wanting to strive for something more?
It's I feel more satisfied. Uh,
Mhm.
like, it's building. Like, I see the videos are reaching out more, but still not where I want it to be.
Okay, got it. So let's just go to your guides for this. I'm just going to go to spirit guides. I don't have a particular name of this grouping. We'll just call them your guides. It's a brilliant set of questions. You are an excellent, excellent questioner. We know you would rather use the word interviewer, but here's the thing. All of the wonderings that you have are simply those that have not yet been voiced quite often by the masses. And so you are asking the things and showing the way and opening the paths for those who have been wondering the very same, but did not have as easy access to the specifics of the proper and ideal word or stream of words or even stream of consciousness. So, first and foremost, dearest one, we say thank you. Thank you for being willing to do this. Thank you for being willing to be a voice for so many who not they are not voiceless, but they are not inclined to share truth and share curiosity and share open-heartedness in this way. They say we do not feel safe doing so, but if someone else could lead the way, if someone else could lead the charge, if someone else could hold the light and carry forward on the path, we would be happy to fall in step behind them. We would be happy to follow that type of leadership. And so here you are doing just that. And so we bow to you. We honor your willingness to do so. It is in some ways a sacrifice, a beautiful one at that. So, with regards to the mechanics and dynamics of the lovely interwebs, we say this is perhaps one of humanity's most un unbelievable. We do not have a word. We are wordless for this. Unbelievable creations. There are so many inner workings of it that even those who are extremely well versed in such technology are sometimes finding themselves at a loss to make sense of or make connection with or even explain how intricate things link up. So some things there are very logical explanations for. If you do things in this way at this time and you link it up just so, there will be at least this much guaranteed reverberation of energy coming back. And then other times, as you have said very clearly, not so much. But here's what we have heard from you time and time again. You have not said, I want this to reach such and such amount of people. You have said, I want this to reach the people who need it. Mm. And so understanding your very keen and clear discernment around this, and you say this from the deepest wisdom of your of your being. You say this from the understanding that numbers truly are a tool of measurement that doesn't actually hold the level of meaning and significance that the current culture applies to it. You understand this as an older soul being. You understand this as one who has walked this earth plane countless times. And so instead, with your clarity, you have said, let it be of reach to, of use to, land on the hearts of those who can utilize it, those who can make sense and apply it for themselves. Those who wish to share and gift and expand and express themselves with what it is they have learned. And so we just gently and with great love remind you that it is not your business in terms of the numbers, the pure numbers. If you wish, as you already know, you could pay someone a particular amount of money and they could get you the numbers. But what you have said with clarity, with care, and with love is let it land with those for whom it is meant to serve. And that is exactly what is happening.
Hmm.
What a great reminder.
Yes, and that makes sense. And it really resonated. Yeah, it just feels wrong to be here for the numbers. It's not
Mhm.
that's not why I'm doing this. And
Mhm.
Wisdom from North is so much like channeling thing. Like it just came to me. So I cannot control it. Like I don't know even why I'm back on YouTube, to be honest. I just had to follow what happened. It just feels so aligned.
Yeah.
And I've been trusting that ever since 2012, and I hope that can be inspiring for others. Because when that idea of Wisdom from North came to me, I just had to follow it, and I've been doing that ever since 2012, and it had led me amazing ways. Like I'm living from doing this right now, our online
Mhm.
courses membership, and it just all came to me. And I think once you start trusting and you start your soul path, it will just come to you. So it's really not about the numbers, because you will be taken care of. Like I feel I'm taken care of. So,
Absolutely. And something else that just came through my awareness is that you spoke before about there being certain pieces of these interviews that are really profound, like deeply game changers potentially. I'm using my language, not yours exactly. If you if you can entertain for a moment that the message from your guides earlier about your writing just might be something you're willing to just play around with, you can go into those interviews, transcribe what those profound messages are, write from your channeling, write an additional like transmission or explanation, or expand it, expand something, expand on that. That is an offering that could be picked up by many who are not in the listening realm, but who are in the visual reading realm. And it's just another modality for you. And it's another way to share something that is profound and has the possibility to shift people's lives and perspective, and of course then the whole planet. So that's from your guides too. Just a little suggestion.
beautiful. And I would love to hear if the trees on this planet have a message for our audience today.
Yes, of course. We come in with ease and we come in with breeze. And did you notice how you spent those seconds of time, of space, of silence? For this is the way we inhabit the planet, is in that exact space of breeze, of air, of silence, of care, of grounding, of centering. We have so much to offer to all those who are in need of peace. All that is necessary is first recognition. Can you notice those of us, we will call ourselves friends of root, that line your path? Can you appreciate the colors, the textures, the absence or presence of leaves, the feel of our bodies, our trunks, our stems? Can you bring that into your awareness just enough to notice it, to acknowledge? And then, if you would, if you don't mind, sharing a breath or two with us. This is the most beautiful exchange, as you already know, as you have learned quite well in your biology and earth science courses from your younger years. This exchange of gases is where we are in perfect compatibility with one another. For we take in what you do not need, and you take in what we do not need, and we cleanse and clear what it is that is required for for clean air, for healthy lungs, for healthy body, for life. And so we are asking for those of you who have an inclination towards affinity towards us to expand on that. Take yourselves a bit deeper into the realm and reign of us. Go into the forests, we invite you. Go closer and nearer to the friends of root. Place your very heart against the trunk of another. Fling your arms wide in a hug. Give not a care as to who might see you or judge you, or better yet, care greatly and pray that others walking by will see the beauty and the joy that you are sharing with your beloved friend of root, and will feel inspired to do the very same for another, because we are capable and able and constantly feeling the transmission of energy from the humans who are definitely in a state of difficulty, of upheaval, of disconnection, of disassociation, of separation. We can feel this, and yet we also know that we are the remedy to this. We have the magic that is necessary. We have the energy that is required to bring each and everyone, no matter of their connection to earthly energy or to that which grows from this beautiful planet. No matter what, we have the ability to drain what is not in service and replenish with what does support, with what lifts the heart, with what lightens the spirit. So we ask you quite simply, do you notice us? Can you give us a bit of your attention, a tiny burst of your time, and take it further to touch and to loving expression, to appreciation. And for those of you who are artistically inclined, how about a picture? We are so happy to pose, or a painting. We are very happy to remain as still as possible so that we may be good subjects. Or perhaps a molding. What is that? Carving. Uh, I don't know, some clay work of sorts. That too, we are happy to be still for. We are here, we are blanketing the planet, and we are actually in a desperate sort of situation as relates to human behaviors. So pay attention to that as well, and give kindness and care, love and affirmation our way. We promise we will return it tenfold.
Hmm. That was beautiful. I've always felt connected to trees, and I've hugged a few trees in my life, and I feel that they have a lot of wisdom. So I'm glad that they got to say something, and it's sad to hear that they feel overseen. And it just is connected with everything I believe that we all need to be seen, no matter what consciousness it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Trees are magical.
Yeah.
And they during the part they were talking about their challenge, we're clear cutting land at just
Mm.
horrific rates. I mean, if you're awake at all to the ecological issues of our planet, connecting to those that are here can bring healing to those that are truly being disconnected or annihilated from this planet. We can reverse this. We still can, and it begins with our relationship to the natural world.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I would like to ask if my higher self has a message to my audience today.
Cool. Well, I am a feisty and fiery and activated spirit, as all who have heard me and who know me can easily see. So, what I would like to do is to share that light, bright and sparkly, effervescent and bubbly, joyful and abundant as it is. And I would like to encourage all who are listening, all who are here, all who are taking breath, to make this moment, this very moment, one of the best they can make it, whether that is by extending themselves through words of love to another or to oneself, whether that is sharing a beautiful meal and appreciating every morsel and bite, for I am a big fan of the most beautiful of food, whether that is wearing brightly colored and flowy and beautiful garments, such as what I am donning in this moment on my physical body, whether that is taking the care to notice the skin that covers the entire beauty of the human body and the health and well-being and ability to be a gift of being alive, whatever it is in this particular moment. Take a moment. I pray, I ask, I encourage, and make it beautiful, make it powerful, make it meaningful, make it special.
Wow. I'm so amazed. That was my higher self message to you guys. And what I noticed, Stephanie, was that my higher self is not excusing herself. She's not, belittling making herself smaller in any way. Like she's full of confidence and full of self-love, and that really inspired me. That really inspired me because at the higher self is the truth of who we are, right? It's who we are in our core and our essence. And to have that like sort of shown to me through you right now was really inspiring. So I want to thank you in so many ways for this channeling that you have provided today.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being willing to have me share this with you.
Beautiful. And I have three questions that I ask all my guests, Stephanie. And the first one is, what is self love to you?
Oh, it is a daily practice of listening to what it is that I need and providing that to myself with no judgment and no delay.
Mm. And what is happiness to you?
Hmm. That feels happiness. I have an interesting relationship with because it feels like something to chase. So I can't, I can't say that I've got a lot of wisdom around that. Other than I look more for the joy rather than the striving feeling towards happiness.
Mm. And what is the deeper meaning of life from your perspective?
I think I truly believe we are all here to learn how to love more unconditionally, more expansively, and it starts with our love for ourselves.
Mm. Very inspiring. Now, where can people find you? And can you share a little bit about your work that you're doing today?
Yeah, you can find me at soulinsight.com and you can schedule private sessions for readings similar to what you've just experienced. And I also teach classes. I teach others how to channel, but remember the foundation of channeling for me is self trust. So basically, I'm teaching you how to trust yourself so that when you connect to spirit, when you receive insights and messages, you can trust in that.
Makes sense. Thank you so much for showing up here and all the best with your work. And thank you for sharing light and spreading light all around the world with your channeling.
Thank you so much. It's been a delight.